Hello, my name is Leonard Harper. I am the Director for Christ Prison Fellowship, sponsored by Churches of Christ. God has a long history of working with and loving downtrodden people. For example, we read about Joseph as a prisoner in Egypt in Genesis chapter 39. Prisons or jails were not as common back then and were used primarily as a holding place until the trial. In Old Testament times, at least for the Hebrews, punishment for crime was either restitution or death, so there was no need for prisons. In the book of Isaiah, he prophesies of the Messiah who would proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prison to those who were bound in chapter 61, verses 1 and 2. In Matthew 25, Jesus encourages us to visit those in prison as we would visit him. The Hebrew writer said, "Remember the prisoners as if chained with them," in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 3. Prison ministry has always been a part of God's plan and should be viewed as part of the Great Commission. Probably the number one incentive for the Churches of Christ to be involved in prison ministry came from Clyde Thompson, the meanest man in Texas, as one warden called him. He was converted while in prison, and after his release, established a prison ministry in Huntsville, Texas, and a jail ministry in Lubbock, Texas. Although he died in 1979, the effectiveness of his work encouraged other congregations to get involved. Because of congregational autonomy, it has been difficult to get accurate statistics on the effectiveness of prison ministry in the United States. New Life Behavior Ministries, under the direction of Buck Griffith, did a survey of U.S. prison ministries of the Churches of Christ for the year 2012 and found that 10,358 men and women were baptized that year. About 100 men were baptized that year in the Amarillo prisons alone. Prison helps people to see their need for God in a way that prosperity and success don't. One of the brothers in Christ that worshiped with the church family on the Nathaniel J. Neal unit was called Oklahoma. He was a brother in Christ that due to sin found himself in prison. We ministered to him and eventually his parole came through. Today he's living in Oklahoma City and working in the merchandising business, a faithful member of the church. There was another brother that we called the Little General. He had never attended church or read the Bible before he came to prison. He said coming to prison probably saved his life. One Sunday afternoon, I had the opportunity to baptize him into Christ. He faithfully attended our worship service and was a good student of the Bible. 2 years later, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. He died a faithful child of God while in prison. It was a privilege to minister to both of these godly men. One of the greatest ways to reach the lost is through our prisons. We can make a difference. You may be asking, how can I be involved in this ministry? There are 4 ways. First, we need godly men to teach our classes. There is no greater thrill than to watch a student grow in his knowledge of God. Second, we need mentors, men or a husband and wife team, to adopt an inmate and counsel him in his spiritual walk with Christ and prepare him for release back into the free world. Third, we need funding for Bibles, for class materials, and also to assist men that are released back into society with rent and utilities, clothing, finding employment, transportation, just to mention a few of their needs. Fourth, we covet your prayers for this ministry. I would love to visit with you personally about becoming a part of this great ministry. Please call me at 1-806-373-4190 or email me at cpfleonard@comanchetrail.net. If you prefer, you may write me at Christ Prison Fellowship, 2700 East 34th Street, Amarillo, Texas, 79103. God bless you, and thanks for watching.